মদন মোহন শ্যামকুণ্ড রাধা কুণ্ড গিরি গোবর্ধন শ্যামকুণ্ড রাধা কুণ্ড গিরি গোবর্ধন কালিন্দী যমুনা জয় জয় মহাবন কালিন্দী যমুনা জয় জয় মহাবন শ্যাম কেশী ঘাট বংশী বট দ্বাদশ কানন কেশী ঘাট বংশী বট কানন যাহা সব লীলা কইল শ্রীনন্দ নন্দন কইল শ্রীনন্দ নন্দন শ্রীনন্দ যশোদা জয় জয় গোপগণ যশোদা জয় জয় গোপগণ শ্রীদামাদি জয় জয় ধেনু বৎসগণ শ্রীদামাদি জয় জয় ধেনু বৎসগণ জয় বৃষভানু জয় কীর্তিদা সুন্দরী জয় বৃষভানু জয় কীর্তিদা সুন্দরী জয় পূর্ণমাসী জয় আভির নাগরী নমাসী জয় আভির নাগরী জয় জয় গোপীশ্বর বৃন্দাবন মাঝ জয় জয় গোপীশ্বর বৃন্দাবন মাঝ জয় জয় কৃষ্ণ সখা বটু দ্বিজ রাজ জয় জয় কৃষ্ণ সখা রাজ জয় রাম ঘাট জয় রোহিণী নন্দন জয় রাম ঘাট জয় রোহিণী নন্দন জয় জয় বৃন্দাবন বাসী জট জন জয় জয় বৃন্দাবন বাসী জট জন জয় দ্বিজ পত্নী জয় নাগ কন্যাগণ পত্নী জয় নাগ কন্যাগণ ভক্তিতে যাহার পাইল গোবিন্দ চরণ ভক্তিতে যাহার পাইল গোবিন্দ চরণ শ্রীরস মণ্ডল জয় জয় রাধা শ্যাম শ্রীরস মণ্ডল জয় জয় রাধা শ্যাম জয় জয় রাস লীলা সর্বমনোরম জয় জয় রাস লীলা সর্বমনোরম জয় জল রস সর্ব সর্বরস সার জয় জয় জলরস সর্বরস সার পরাকিয়া ভাবে যাহা ব্রজেতে প্রচার পরাকিয়া ভাবে যাহা ব্রজেতে প্রচার শ্রীজানব পাদ পদ্ম করিয়া স্মরণ শ্রীজানব পাদ পদ্ম করিয়া স্মরণ দীন কৃষ্ণ দাস কয়ে নাম সংকীর্তন দীন কৃষ্ণ দাস কহে নাম সংকীর্তন দীন কৃষ্ণ দাস কহে নাম সংকীর্তন দীন কৃষ্ণ দাস কহে নাম সংকীর্তন নমো বিষ্ণুপাদায় কৃষ্ণপৃষ্ঠায় ভূতলে শ্রীমতে ভক্তিবেদান্ত স্বামী নিধি নামিনে নমো বিষ্ণুপাদায় কৃষ্ণপৃষ্ঠায় ভূতলে শ্রীমতে ভক্তিবেদান্ত স্বামী নিধি নামিনে नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशता जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Gaur Premanandi, Jai Jai Shri Prabhupada ki. Salil, can you give the control to me here? Hari Om, Hare Krishna. Can you view it? Can you read it from there? Yes. So we'll discuss about today the right mindset, which is, yeah, keep it there, yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna. What's your name? Annapurna and Uma? Jai, very beautiful name. What's your name?
My name is
Huh?
Lana.
Alana? Very good. You're coming first time?
Sorry?
Did you come first time to our temple or you used to come?
Excuse me for my English. We live near.
Oh, you live near?
We live near in mountain and we are moved from Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan? Very good. So we have our Pujari is a Russian devotee. Do you know him? You know? He is.
So much.
You stay here, he will be here sometime.
I sometimes go here, but now we must go because my husband returned from his job.
Ah,
We should go.
okay, no problem. Please offer one ghee lamp to the Lord. There is a ghee lamp here. You put a fire and offer to Krishna. Yeah, there is a ghee lamp is there. Yeah, you take it and light it up in the candle. No, that one, yeah. Yeah, that one. Keep that one, other one. Yeah, there, yes, exactly. Take the fire. So just show it to Krishna. Little bit try it out. Take other one. Yeah, try. Just, yeah, only it has to light. Yeah, it has to light. Yeah, yeah, you offer. Not for the kids, you do it for them. Okay, you just make a round. Very good. 5 round and then keep it there in the sand. Very good. Your life is successful. Okay. Thank you very much. There in the sand, put it there. Yeah. Be careful. You put it there. Be careful. Okay, give it. That's it, that's it. Okay, good. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, so today we'll discuss about, what's your name, Prabhuji? Abhijit. Take the microphone. The right mindset for Krishna consciousness. So we will have a topic today. So we sang the song already, so I'll skip this. Okay. So today's topic we'll be talking about what's mindset, what does it mean, and then mindset means, as per the definition, a set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. So what mindset means? That what I have a mindset, and based on that mindset, you exhibit certain behavioral thing, your outlook, and mental attitude. Also, it depends. So this is the definition, and we'll go more onto that. Then also we'll talk about current set of your mindset. What is the framework of your mindset? How it works, and then develop a spiritual mindset. How to come from the material mindset to a spiritual mindset. What it means and how it be beneficial, and what are those challenges or what are those knowledge level required in order to come from an X mindset to an Y mindset, a material mindset to a spiritual mindset, and what it matters and why it matters. We talk about that. And then finally we'll talk about power of mindset with respect to the Gita slokas. So what it really, how it influences me, how it influences to others, how it does it. So we will have a discussion on this topic. So as you know, the mindset is in your brain. It's like a cycle of churning of thought processes, and it comes out as a word. Thinking something on, let's say you are thinking of flower, then you are thinking of your best flower, rose flower. Somebody may thinking of lotus flower. Somebody may thinking of lily flower, jasmine, whatnot, gardenia. So the flowers coming, and then you go on describing on the flower. Oh, then what Krishna is wearing a flower, what Krishna's liking flower is. So this is the thought process. Then something special impressions, it's imbibe or it imprints in your mind for a long time. How it remains? By constant meditation on that flower, by constant touch of that flower, or by constantly thinking about that flower. Let's say somebody's name is Malati, or you are associating, then Malati, then you do not think about the flower. But when you meet a person first time, and if says her name Rosie or Malati, then in the first attempt you may say, oh, beautiful flower name, beautiful this one. But after few days of your association, you forget the flower and the person, because you're already with the person. So we forget about that. So this is called absorption of the thoughts into current action. But mindset has no value in that one. Mindset has certain things, which is called a preconceived notion. A preconceived notions which exist in your mind for any object to be seen to make you a judgment. For example, you have a preconceived idea that in a temple there would be a bell. In a temple there would be an arti going on. In temple there would be a deity or an idol, what you call, or something would be there. Then if you come to a temple and you don't see any of the objects, your mindset gets disturbed or agitated, or it is challenging the current situation or the current outlook. It's challenging means because in your mind it is there. How it is in your mindset? Because you came from that cultural background. You came from that family background. You came from that environment. And that environment makes you certain type of person, which is a mindset in your persona, and that makes you see in that way. It scans in that way. Scans those objects. How it scans? Oh, I enter into that. Oh, I didn't see. Somebody who comes from a big temple who is going, he has a mindset that a tulsi plant would be there in the temple. A coconut has to be broken in the temple. Or a charanamrut has to be given to me in the temple. Or a pujari will do some puja for me in the temple. So there is a mindset which is there. And when those activities, those objects, or those actions are not flowing according to our mindset, then what we do? We challenge that condition. We challenge that event. And then comes up varieties of mindset which interacts and depends on how serious your mindset is, how critical your mindset is, and what conviction your mindset has come to that point. Suppose if you are going in driving here, just I am giving you an example of a mindset. You have a stop sign. Your mindset is there when there is an intersection, there would be a stop sign. So by mistake, somebody has removed the stop sign. You stop it. Why do you stop it? In America, you are going, let's say because of there is a new painting, there is a 4-way lane. You are going on one side, and you don't see, either it is by wind it has gone or something happened, there is no stop sign. Generally, people try to, if you are going for the first time in that road, because you have a preconceived information in your mind, people tend to stop. If there is no red light, no traffic light, then they tend to stop. If they say 2 stop sign on the other side, then they are about to stop. About to stop in the intersection. Why? Because it is in the preconceived mind it is there, then we need to stop in an intersection because we assume a stop sign would be there. There are some places, very unlikely, some places which goes one way, another way with a stop sign. You have been acquainted with that, you do not stop. Because your preconceived mind has been flow charted in a way that it is already, automation is there in your mind, so it flows in that way. But if you are going for the first time, you first time stop. But the behind the car who is coming, what he does, he will honk you. Why? Because he is acquainted with the preconditioned situation or the environment of that particular traffic. So, my point which I wanted to bring today is what a mindset influences. What exactly a mindset from your perspective. So, let me ask, your name is, I know, last time you came.
Shanil.
Huh?
My name is Shanil.
Sanil. So, we are talking about the right mindset for Krishna consciousness. So we are just discussing in the first few slides about what exactly a mindset means. So from your perspective, you see the definition? Let me read the definition. A set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. So give an example. You have heard. Take the microphone. Give me an example of your any mindset in your conception. Anything which can be culture, which can be socializing, which can be spiritual, which can be religious, anything. Which can be sports mindset or weather mindset.
Engineering mindset.
Huh?
Engineering mindset.
Engineering mindset. Very good. Can you elaborate what it means?
Like, let's say if you had to do some kind of software testing or quality assurance testing, and you have certain parameters and certain expectations. So now you have to find a way to break it or fix it or try to figure out exactly what is going on so it's a better product. So you have engineering or testing mindset.
Exactly. So based on the environment or the situation you are into. Very good. How about you?
I can give from a cultural perspective, in India, um, many sections of the society believe that meat eating is bad for you, or whatever. So,
Closer to your microphone. Closer to
so by default, I mean, whenever you see somebody eating meat or something, you have that mindset, and I mean, it's kind of judging the other person without even without knowing about them. I mean, based on what you have been brought up in, whatever cultural and societal background you are coming from.
Mm-hmm. Very good. That's a good point. So similarly, many people, those who come from Indian background, if you are eating something in left hand, my kids go and if they are eating their grandmom, my mom would say, "Hey, don't eat in your left hand." So it is true. And our mindset is based on many of the things from Vedic culture, which is there from generations to generations. Just like in Indian Brahmin families, they may have dogs, but that dog doesn't go to the kitchen because it is separated. Because I know in our home back in India we have dogs, but that remains outside my balcony somewhere else. It doesn't come to the chamber where auspicious things are going on. So this is a mindset which is there in our brain. When you go to a place for an American family, that's likely not only your kitchen, not only here, your bedroom, everywhere. Then there is the mindset challenges. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. There is nothing wrong. But there could be higher truth. But in this context, what it is happening is the mind is agitated to challenge your event or challenge your actions based on what it thinks to be correct. I have a set of mind which is correct. Just like I'm giving another example. When I came from India 2000, going to a park, walking in a park in a circular way. So I was going as Indian goes in a way left side, and then old lady is coming. So we are kind of tussling out, means she's coming. She was expecting that I should go my side, which is American side, but we are kind of tussling out. So the lady, then she looked at me. It didn't say, but I thought something wrong. Again in second round, it's going to about to happen that. So she was basically murmur, "You don't know how to walk also." It's like that basically, the point she wants to make. Again in after few days, so I was walking and I saw. So we got a eye contact and kind of a indirect relationship, either friendship or space relationship, whatever it is. Then she saw me. I smiled her. I'm in the right direction. Then second time I intentionally come in a wrong direction. So she saw and she was kind of smiling and I stopped her. When you're talking about it do not know he said, no, exactly. You are going in a wrong direction. Then I asked her, what do you mean by wrong direction? You are going as per your brain. Then I said, in a paper, I write my name. This is my name, Balimardhan Das. I write from here to here. From where? From the left corner to the right corner. You write right? Then I told, can you write from right corner to the left? That is wrong. I said, ma'am, America is not only one country in the world. You go to Arab, Urdu, how to write? Right to left. Isn't it? The right opposite. Opposite means for them we are opposite. For us they are opposite. They write that. She said, she stopped then. She said, this guy is reasonably saying something. I said, you are based in America and you have not seen the beyond world. And I came from India, I know which directions we walk and which directions we go. So that's why I'm accommodating both these places. But for you, I'm completely wrong. But for me, neither I'm wrong nor you are wrong. It's just a method of my absorption at this time. So similarly, just writing, we both are writing in the same directions. You are writing your name from English, Miss Shelley, from this directions to that direction. I am writing Balimardhan Das from this directions to this direction. So what it matters? We are writing in the same direction, but there could be other people I told, whom I know, he might have known, but he might not have noticed it. They write from right to left. She was, Then you call, what you said? Wrong. First of all, you said me wrong, then you are saying second habit you are saying wrong. So this is not wrong. This is called the mindset. Because we are already in a situation where we consider this is extremely right. Then I gave an example. Now you try to force me to write my name in this way to that way. That is called fanaticism. Fanaticism means enforcing one's idea or ideology to someone against his interest without any rational explanation or conclusion. Isn't it? That's why we call a social adjustment, where we respect everybody's culture, everybody's behavior, everybody's dress code, everybody's outlook, so that we live in a harmony. We live in a harmony. Because of now, if you challenge everybody has to wear suit, pant and tie. It's a majoritarian. Now if somebody wears dhoti, then you are out. Somebody wears this one. So we call a social adjustment that gives us the value and respect to the humanity. So the mindset is what is there and how the Vedas teaches us what is exactly the right mindset and how to modify your own mindset and others people's mindset in order to comply with the Vedic literature. That is the objective and the goal of this session. So what it means? Many people would see this one. Some would say, oh, this is just a kind of a engineering, as you are saying. If you're engineering mind, you say it's a spiral moving around with some kind of engine across this one. Somebody may say, this is like the thought process is going from the right brain. Some psychologists view a different one. Somebody may view in different one. What do you think of this picture, ma'am?
Which picture?
This one.
This one?
Yeah. Take your microphone. Give a microphone to her. What do you...
I think this picture represents, just many wheels turning in a typical person's mind.
Exactly.
I think that depicts how everybody's mind is moving all the time on different things, thinking of different things at different times.
Exactly. So it has, somebody may say mechanical engineer, he would directly say, oh, these are 4 gear. If I ask one person, he said, oh, it is exactly looking in my bicycle. My bike has like this 8 gears. And so people have different, perception to decipher the same picture in a different way. Just like a milk Somebody says, oh, if I give a bottle glass of milk, somebody say milk contains protein. Somebody say milk is tasty. Somebody says milk is white. Somebody say milk comes from cow. Somebody may say something else. Oh, this is a hot milk. It has a lot of cream. So many things come. So God is like that. All of them are true. But if somebody says milk is black, that is not true.
But
Right? Yes.
one thing, if I look at it more and then I look at the definition, so that main wheel is bigger that's turning, right?
Yes.
So like it said, it's a set of beliefs. So that main wheel is maybe your belief system, and then these other smaller wheels are then determines one's behavior, outlook, and mental attitude.
Exactly.
So maybe that's what's going on.
Yes, it is going on like that. So
Yeah.
men believe. So everybody is likely an operating system.
Mm-hmm.
One of us has a certain framework of mindset
Yeah.
based on your culture, based on your education, based on your association, based on your past experience. Some adult may have a better childhood. Some adult may have a very bad childhood. Somebody may have been suppressed in his childhood. Somebody may be encouraged in his childhood. So we have a different set of theories in our life, and based on that, we come to a stage where our mental framework is behaving in that way. So how do you know? Go to the next one. So this is the agenda. Again, this is the same one, which is a mindset is a set of assumptions, methods, or notations held by one or more people or groups of people that is so established. So it is an established conclusion in your mind, which is hard to break. Hard to break means just like, as I mentioned, gave a lot of example, the park example with the ladies, or the dog example we gave it about it. So there are a lot of things which is maybe true, may not be true, but let's forget about what true or not, but it is based on assumption from the other perspectives. So here, let's see. If you see, the mindset is in the brain, which is definitely the top portions, and then those peripheries, which is really attributing or a conditional behavior, which is really finally making you the conclusion what kind of person you are. I'm not asking you to judge everyone based on that or judge any time, but that makes us very deep if you understand what the mindset of the other person, so that we can develop a sense of cooperation. We can develop a sense of respect with the diversity, and we can develop sense of things like that. Because recently I was reading in India, Delhi, there are people who are attacking the people who came from northeastern side. Because they said they don't look like us. What do you mean by they don't look like us? So that doesn't mean that you have to attack. How can somebody will change his gene and form of the body to look like you? So they don't talk like us. They don't, in Bangalore, there is a strike for some people that you must talk Kannadi. It's a diversity. If you ask here that everybody must talk Mexican, then you are allowed to stay in Silicon Valley, then where you will go? So there are people in China market in San Francisco who cannot even speak English. So that's why the reason we are doing is, as an intellectual persons, we need to develop a sense of cooperation, sense of respect by understanding the diversities of religious fundamentals, diversity of the social behavior, diversity of the varieties of customs we are used to, so that we try to respect and try to learn something out of it. Just like when Prabhupada visited Sikh temple, or you understand, they used to give langar, langar means free prasadam. From that, he got the idea, he got these things that in ISKCON also we must give everybody free prasadam. That's what later on we discovered this Sunday Love Feast program. And in ISKCON around the world, we give free prasadam to the people at least once a week. There are many temples who give a lot more, but at least once a week. So different cultures, there are different things to be learned. Now I am giving an example from a spiritual perspective. Here is Govinda. What is mindset of Vasudeva at the time? When Krishna was born in the jail, Vasudeva he's the father of Krishna. He saw the four-handed form of Narayan, And his mind is that he is God. So what is his mindset? He is going crossing the river Yamuna. Is he thinking he's God I'm holding? Is he thinking God is the protector, God is all pervasive? He just flowing with the flow of the words of God. He said, just take me and put it into Gokul with Nanda Baba's home. So the mindset is not really analyzing anything. What is analyzing? Krishnamati Rastu. Because I am carrying Krishna. I am just taking Krishna and doesn't matter whatever it, either rain or sun or hot or irrespective of any conditions, I am taking. So what's the mindset of Vasudev is? Krishna consciousness. So there is, in case of us, what could have been? Rationality, or who can cross this river? It's a rain, it's a this, it is that, it is, so many things can come. So this is influencing about how Krishna comes into picture in your mind, Krishna is in your mind, then the whole thing can flow as per the will of God. But we are checking the will of God to be executed on our own destiny. And because you are checking of the will of the God to happen with us, we are suffering. Just like I went to New York, one of my friends' home, and he has like just like you. How old your daughter? 3 years? 2 years? 2? Yeah. He has also 2.5 or something like that. So he doesn't eat. Open the mouth, then finally he has to put some syringe and grinding the food and putting inside this one. So bottom line is he's blocking to accept any food. Just like your daughter blocks any food to be taken by her mouth, then what can you do? You'll try your best. But the growth would be hampered, right? So similarly, if we block the will of God to be executed in us, then we'll check our spiritual advancement and we blame others. Our own advancement depends on our own will to make forward towards God. If you don't make, we cannot blame God. God is giving unlimited mercy. Only thing is you are checking, just like a kid is checking to his parents not to eat. But parents is not responsible. They are always well-wishers of the kid, they can eat well and progress further. So similarly, we have to transcend our mindset towards Krishna. But initial mindset has to be nullified or it has to be purified. So that is the process. We wanted to first understand what those mindsets are. And then we'll go to how to purify by the method of Krishna consciousness. So as per the current psychology, there are 4 kinds of mindset. General mindsets, collective mindsets, fixed and growth mindsets, and as per, then we'll talk about Bhagavad Gita, how it says, productive mindsets and defensive mindsets. Okay? So general mindset is, we have a general view of everything. Every individual, literate, illiterate, knowledgeable, ignorant, intellectual, non-intellectual, scientist, non-scientist, poet, non-poet, they have a general mindset about everything. You can ask to Mr. Sunil, talk me about what sports you like. Baseball. If I talk about something to him, basketball, he can give a general idea. You can talk about something about volleyball or table tennis, he can give some ideas what it means. So we all have a general mindset for everything what we see, what we know or what we do not know, based on our current setup. So there is no argument on that. So sometimes it is called Democratic and Republic, 2 parties in America. Their tendency, their outlook and their behavior is so different. They have made many, so the political parties, they massage the communication during election campaign so that how it can polarize things. I'm giving an example. A Republican party, you won't see anyone who is a strong Republican be found in Walmart. If somebody is there, you ask which party you follow in Walmart, If you say Republican, he is not Republican. That doesn't mean that they don't like it. It is that general behavior. They want to be specific. They want to be different. They don't want to be common man. It is not that they are not common men. They are. But the psychology behind them, we are specific. We are something different. So there are many things are completely differentiated between a Democratic and a Republican guy. Just like if you see, then people find what do they like then? Is there any commonalities? They find one commonalities now. And what is that commonalities? The Republic and the Democrats, they like one website. Which website? Guess. It's Amazon.com. Both, it has, just imagine. So either the intellectual of Amazon website is much higher, or it has really penetrates the heart of the people. For both these parties is a completely different set of ideology, different sets of thinking process, different sets of mindsets. The mindsets makes them distinct. When you see a problem, we try to resolve based on our current mindset. If you give how to tackle the current terrorism, Democratic has a view, Republican has a view. But the end result is they want to resolve it. But the approach, the understanding, and these things are different because the whole mindsets are different. So here I wanted to prove, that's why it is called a general mindset everybody has. A collective mindset is a collection of the people, like Republican mindset. This is a collective mindset. What is the mindset of ISB, our temple? Book distribution, devotional service to God, and doing kirtan, chanting the holy name. So this is our mindset. Because we have that kind of mindset, we execute our activities in that direction. So we tell people, take books. Do you have Bhagavad Gita? Do you have Bhagavatam sets? Do you have Goswami package? Do you have this? So we tell people and we distribute books. Because our mindset is like, our not only general mindset, it is our collective mindsets, which is there. And what is the fixed and growth mindsets? What does it mean? The fixed and growth mindset is very important to know. Fixed mindset is, there are people who are very rigid. Means they are unyielding. They are unmovable. Or in other technology, psychological terms, it is called, people have a belief, whatever talents you got from your birth, you are supposed to exhibit that talent. Suppose if you are a music talents in your childhood, you will be a good musician in future. Basically, there is no try. You have to find out what talents you have. Because God is saying that we are Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasa. What are the Chaturvarnam and Chaturasrama? Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya and Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Banaprastha and Sannyas. These are all 4 Varna, 4 ashramas. So if you do not develop a Brahminical qualities in your birth or Brahminical family, you cannot be Brahmin, but not by birth. So this talent is like fixed mindsets. So there are people who are fixed mindsets, who are developing Krishna consciousness. They have fixed mind, that Krishna is the Lord, which is a great thing, if Krishna is God. But the fixed mindset is developed or coming by a proper conclusion, by an authoritative sources, which gives you power. But by a wrong way, if you fix your mind on something wrong, then your whole idealistic principles in the life will be spoiled. So the fixed mindset is here based on the psychological things, your birth, talents and everything, which is there. Growth mindset is the people who are kind of broad-minded. I mean, they think that my son is not sports interested. They don't say that he will be interested in something, they put it. They wanted to find out what interest he has and then they put him into that. No, the growth mindset people, they see how I can develop the sports mentality into this boy. Means, how to do that? What your daughter likes now? So far, she likes dance, play, singing. What behavior she has developed?
Yeah, like reading.
Use your microphone.
Reading books, playing puzzles, I mean, things. She's in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you understand something now, what's her liking, what's her food liking, what's her play liking, what's her activities liking. So now that is called a fixed mindset. What it goes is, whatever they have, I develop in that way. A growth mindset person thinks that whatever good for her or whatever I think it can be helpful, let's say I wanted to give her music, then they find out an opportunity to give the particular talents or characteristics so that it can develop. So bottom line is the growth mindset are the people who can be preached well to adopt this Krishna consciousness. Because they have a thinking power, rationalized power, they can adopt it fast. A fixed mindset, no, that's it. I will go in this path. But those people who are scanning a broader view, they have the ability to scan good things. And that's why we go preach. That some people become devotees. Some people accept this path. And then finally, the productive mindset and defensive mindset. So this one, what it does? The productive mindset and defensive mindset is also exactly like fixed and growth. Defensive is like defensive mindset. Anything you talk about it, they will calculate based on they will defend themselves. Suppose if you say, why did you drink the water like this without touching your lips? A defensive mindset people will talk about, he will defend himself. He will think that he is criticizing me. He will think that he is attacking me. He will think that something wrong in me by drinking this. That will be his notion. That will be his notions. So what he would say? No, drinking like this is good and this and that. So he'll give an example. What he trying to prove? He tried to defend himself that I am not what you are thinking. Let's say two person is talking, one productive guy and one defensive mindset people is talking. The productive mindset people may be asking you to know something great in that approach by drinking water by like this without touching your lips. I am giving my own example. In my office, I sometimes drink by like this, and I have a little sense of humor in everything. So one American, my colleague Helene, and she asked me, "Why do you drink like this, Raj?" She said, "Well, I drink like this because I don't want to touch the plastics in my lips." "Oh, what do you touch then?" "I touch silver and gold." Or steel. So what it means is, then there is a discussion. What do you mean by that? Oh, these are inferior material. Plastic is a good material? Is it good material? I told her herself, do you think plastic is a good material? Oh, no way, plastic is not a good material at all. So why the heck? So she was convinced. So I asked the guy, then one of my friends, I told her, why don't you do this? And because of our nature, he was a defensive mindset. So she asked the same question. No, I'm doing like this. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with me? I just happen to do like this. I find something. Basically, what I am trying to be, he got it. So he tries to defend himself that I am wrong or I am doing something wrong, even though there is nothing in that. Just a defensive mindset. And then the productive mindset people always try to learn from something, learn from an event and understand it, or try to poke around so that they get used to about this thing. So it's very, very, very fundamental difference in that. Any questions from anyone? Shalin, anyone in the phone, in the internet? Any questions? How do you call? Do you put any phone number? Oh. Some are there? Okay, so no questions. Let's go. Current set of your mindset. So now this is the third topic. So we understand the 4 categories and Hare Krishna. So we understand the 4 categories of people who are this mindset, that mindset, who are this and that. Now how do we know what is my current mindset? How do you really understand that what mindset I have right now and what it matters to me? So now you have to find the beliefs that are most supportive. So don't try to discourage yourself. What does it mean? What does it mean by discouraging yourself? Some people have, tendency of using food in a different way. Let's say left-hand food or right-hand food, or using a different notions, or taking bath in a different way, or doing something. So you find out yourself what is my current behavior and current mindset. But don't be discouraged if something you find which is not great. Find the beliefs. Try to find out the beliefs you have that are more supportive. Supportive means you find that is soothing your heart. Let's say your grandmom told you that when you get up in the morning, you offer obeisances to sun god. I'm giving an example. So you have that imbibed in your daily activities. So you write down 5 things. Or your teacher told you to read Bhagavad Gita every day in the 7:30 p.m. in the evening. There is something you set it up. Or someone said something. I'm just throwing an example. So what you do is, you keep that beliefs that are most supportive. Don't take laundry list. Take 5 beliefs you have which can help you. I will say how to connect that. So that are most supportive for that. So now what you do is, you need to little bit check balance. Check if the beliefs are in harmony with Vedic scriptures for potential reality. Suppose if it is said that I had a belief that when I start my car, I go front. Somehow it is there. I go little front, even though in my garage is there, but I bump into something, but I go 0.005 inch further and then go backward. While it is there. Means in my India when I used to ride a bike or whatsoever, I go front, I never go back. That's my belief that I am a forward-looking man. So I will go forward. So there is nothing, that doesn't mean that who is going back, always he is a backward or I am forward. But it is a belief that, which is there and that's okay. So why my uncle one time sitting and we are in the car parking garage, front there is nothing is there, but I am going a little bit further. So he asked me, why are you going further 2 inch? And then I explained, it is my belief, it is there that I have to think, act and meditate that I am a forward person. I am a forward looking person. Just like if somebody is positive, he is a positive person. So anyway, that belief is keeping me in actions that I am a forward looking man. Everybody wants to be an advanced forward looking man, right? So nothing bad in that. So it's just supportive. But the beliefs are in harmony. But is it causing any big problem? No. So there are some typical beliefs. If you are doing pranayam, you are doing some yoga, you are doing some meditations, then you can definitely continue that if it is conducive towards your Krishna consciousness. So what it does is, based on the last one and the previous one which is talking about the current set of mind, and there is nothing you can change the people in a day. There is nothing in a year you can change the people. So primarily, the fixed mindset people, they are saying what? They avoid challenge. And what they do? They also gives up easily. Means something, forget about it, it's nothing buying, please. And what they do is, sees effort is temporary and also get frustrated or ignores feedback or criticism. Gets frustrated easily or feedback, anybody gives feedback, they are frustrated or they are prone to such criticism. And what is that? Feels threatened by other success. Feels threatened by other success. These are all characteristics. You analyze yourself. Do you possess that? Let me say. Do you ever challenge? Yes or no? You don't need to answer me now. You ask yourself. Then you say, do you give up very easily? Suppose if some challenge is there that you have to chant 16 rounds or read one chapter Bhagavad Gita. It's not possible, I give up. Then do you think that effort is temporary? Then you just believe in destiny, luck. Everything is luck. There is nothing in effort is there. And then you get frustrated if somebody says something, irritated, or it is said that if somebody is successful, then you are basically again a problem. What is the growth mindset? Then how do you translate into a growth mindset people? The growth mindset people is, what is that? She embraces challenge and she pushes through these setbacks. And last one, believe and effort, most important. Believe that the effort is most important, which is true. And also users' feedback and criticism is very okay. Criticism is a way to improve, not a way to challenge. If anybody says criticism is a way to improve. Inspired by and learns from other success. He's inspired by other success. If somebody is successful, he's inspired by them and learn to know how you're successful. So these are the characteristics. So similarly, the spiritual things is exactly the same. So convert it into Krishna consciousness way. What it means? How many rounds I am chanting? What are the regulative principles I am doing? Am I getting up early in the morning? Am I practically, willing to do something for Krishna? Am I prone to criticism? What I am? Many people will fall into the fixed mindset. So we have to convert ourselves into growth mindset. Because growth mindset, materially, spiritually, it will help you out. So there is nothing can hinder you. So we are basically promoting people to follow the growth mindset technique. And how by spiritualism, we'll come to that sloka. So develop a spiritual mindset. How do you do that? So there are 4 questions you can ask. Repeat it. What are you good at? That's your mind. What do you love doing? That's your heart. What need can you serve? That's the body. And finally, what is life asking of you? Your consciousness. That is your spirit. So that means, what it means? It is giving you analysis of your mind, body, consciousness, your heart. Is really taking it out. It's not, you are not analyzing here for you to determine what you are. Rather than we are saying, what are you good at? You can say, I am good at making friendship. Or you can say, I am good at something else. Going to the bank or getting money or whatsoever. Then you say, what do you love doing? Oh, I love doing cooking. That's your heart, means you cannot stop. There is one person, one devotee who comes here, nobody asked him. And what it is, he's in the kitchen. Oh, I love cooking. Nobody asked him, because he loves it. As long as your heart is there, you will go there. I'm giving examples. One time we are here, one couple of devotees came, 3 kids came. I was observing, 3 kids. 1 kid came here. 1 kid standing there. 1 kid going to the bookshelf. So what does it mean? Their parents told them, when kids come, the parents told them, sit there, sit there. No. This is open room, right? When he comes, that kid is interested in music. He was singing in Mridanga. Then he's playing the kartal little bit. He's opening the harmonium. So he has an affinity. That is your heart. He has a natural affinity towards that. We may be going to 1 year, here you coming, you may not have even attracting any objects to you, means you do not have affinity. There is second kid who is there, he's just watching the deities. Krishna is just watching it and enjoying and seeing because it captures his mind. The another person, another kid, he went to the books, he's opening and reading. He's not practically, he's just going to open the Bhagavad Gita. He's interested toward. But none of them are wrong, or none of them are not that the other person do not like God. God is in the music, God is in the books, God is in the deity form, God is everywhere. Our job is to understand where our interest is, where my heart is. God is in everybody's heart. Everybody has a talent. You have a talent, he has a talent, somebody has a talent, myself has a talent. So our heart goes when you see. When you come here, you want to meet someone. Why not others? Because your heart is going to meet that person. Isn't it? I always see someone who looks like me. Or somebody was going, I was talking, I am from Odisha, I was talking in Odia, and then one person, oh, you talk my mother tongue, your tongue, then he stops. Something gets connected, and we talk about each other. So in that way, how do we do this one? You have to analyze yourself and see what's your mind, what's your heart, and what's your body says. In that way, you try to connect Krishna. If you are a great musician, you try to come play for Krishna. If you are a great cook, you go to the kitchen, help it out. Because by doing that one, nobody in this world is going to tell you always to do something. You need to have a self-motivation. So you need to have your self-interest to do something for God. Because by performing a little bit for God, it is transcendental, it is eternal. Your khata khul gaya. It means open your bank account for Krishna. Once you open the bank account, a deposit everywhere. Krishna gives with interest. So that's the one. And the spiritually minded. So here they talk about what spiritually minded. What is the mindset of when you know about Uddhava? When Uddhava came to Vrindavan, what is the mindset of the gopis? What they are good at. What their mind is, Krishna. What their heart is, Krishna. What their body is for Krishna. What their consciousness is, Krishna. The gopis are thinking about Krishna, 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 Krishna. When Uddhava is coming, he was awe and wonderstruck by seeing the emotions, by seeing the sentiments, by seeing the love and devotions the gopis had towards Krishna. They're crying. They are criticizing Krishna. They are saying Krishna is so bad, he left us. But it is out of love only. There is no tinge of any kind of hatred towards Krishna. They are completely absorbed in Krishna. What is their mindset is? There is no mindset except Krishna. They have nothing. They have nothing in the sense there is nothing that this is beautiful, the tree is beautiful, the Jamuna is beautiful, everything is in association with Krishna. Then your mindset is called absolute mindset. We are relative mindset. So what is absolute mindset? Absolute mindset is that everything we see in terms of Krishna, that is called absolute mindset. Relative mindset, everything we see based on our beliefs, based on our behavior, based on our outlook, based on our perceptions, that is called relative mindset. If you add those things in Krishna, then we are an absolute minded person. We are an absolute mindset. But coming to the stage is not easy. So Uddhava is analyzing what is the mindset of gopis. See, because Krishna wants to send Uddhava, because Uddhava wants to understand pure devotional service. And he felt himself so low, I am nothing in front of the gopis. And he declared the gopis are the best devotees in the world. And then we have to do Gopi Bharta Pada Kamala, Dasa Dasanu Dasa. We have to become the devotees of devotees of devotees of devotees of Krishna's lotus feet. So that is the whole purport of spiritually minded person and the whole Krishna consciousness person. But beginning to start with what's my good at, what I love to do, what can I serve, how can I serve in the temple, am I good in cleaning, am I good in preaching, am I good in marketing, am I good in something? You try to contribute something for the development of our temple. And what is the life is asking for me? My life is asking to become the CEO, become the vice president, become a bank manager, become a millionaire. What is my life is? If the life goal is set like that, then your consciousness will flow in that way. But if your life goal is set like that, I want to be a spiritual minded person, I want to really learn about God, because this lifetime is 70 years, 80 years for all of us, 60 years, whatsoever. After that, the goal is set up that I want to become, but that's not our real goal. Our goal is to attain Krishna, Prema. That's our goal. So we go there. So how to change our mindset now? How to change our mindset? That is the point today. We understand now what mindset is, how many types of mindset is. So these are the three things we have to know. How to know it? Find your voice. The inner voice, your heart is saying. What is my voice? The heart is saying to me. Everybody has God in your heart. So there is a voice. Because God is there, He's speaking. We are not hearing because you are dumb. We are deaf, we are not speaking to him. Deaf, dumb, and blind. And open up a little bit, then you can hear the voice of God. And protect your best mindset. Don't try to be discouraged. As I mentioned, protect your best mindset which is there in your mind. So flexible enough to adopt the new one. And also at the same time, you should be flexible enough to adopt the new one. So what does it new one means? Here. New one means if you like ocean, beach, you can go do some meditation there, be peaceful, sitting there idly. Because churning, if you like here, we offer ghee lamp every night during Kartik. You can offer here. So you develop certain habits. By performing some activities towards Krishna, gradually if you do that, you develop a habit. And that habit is good habit. Just like you are coming here every Wednesday, then you develop a good habit. You are coming here every Sunday, you develop a good habit. And that itself will develop a sense of what he calls a sense of responsibility that you continue to come and continue to fulfill those habits. Because Krishna says, I preserve what you have and I give you what you lack. If you are coming to Krishna, if you are lacking something in intelligence, understanding, he gives you intelligence. If you are lacking something in peacefulness, disturbances, Krishna makes you peaceful. If you are lacking something in money, Krishna gives you. He is not a poor man. He can give everything. He is unlimited. How many Krishna has employed? 38,000 crores teachers for his kids and grandsons. 38,000 crores teachers were there in Dwarka to teach entire Yadu families. Krishna has 16,108 wives. Each wife has 10 sons, 1 daughter. Calculate. 161,800. They have 10. So how many calculate? Millions, right? So and then Yadu families, his family, that family. So 38,000 crores or 380,000 crores or something. Whatsoever. 380 crores. So yeah, 380 crores. Means 3,800 million teachers there in Dwarka to teach the kids. So what? Every wife has a big palace. So he's a rich man. He can give us everything. We have to go here and there. But he gives us in a right time. If you are sincere, he gives you in properly. But even though some person asks in a day, Krishna fulfills their desires. So that's why we have to develop the mindset. So there are 5 sloka from Bhagavad Gita which talks about the mindset with respect to the Gita slokas. What it talks? Na karmanam anarambhan neskarmyam purusho ansnute naja sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. What does it mean? Sometimes our mindset is, those who are spiritually become, mindset is now abstaining from work. That we don't need to, spiritual minded Gita, tum Gita पढ़ रहा है, you are reading Gita, now you will become Babaji, you will not have any work. So this is called mindset, which Krishna I am giving this one. Abstaining from work, can you get perfection? And then some people say, renunciation alone can attain perfection. But none of these are applicable. Did Arjuna quit the battlefield? No. Did Arjuna become a renunciant? He became a sannyasi? No. So what he became? How did he get the path? So there is something. This is called misconception. This is called local mindset. If somebody wants to be some religious, you went to the temple, you went become religious, now there is no more material activities, you are living, maybe your wife will be in trouble, you are going there. People give different criticism. Because their mindset is different. To attain path of perfection, their mindset is that you don't work. Then you become renunciate, which is good. But technically Arjuna did either of them. Did Arjuna leave the battlefield? Arjuna got the best conclusion of the Gita, right? But did he do these 2 things? No. So this is called one of the mindset which people have for for us. So I wanted to clarify that you develop those habits, that these two things are not applicable. So what is the second Gita sloka talks about? 5.18. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini sunichaiva sapakecha pandita samadarshinaha. That means the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. So what I try to say here, what does it mean? That's I wanted to say, the mindset of an ordinary person and mindset of a great person. When you see a child, like he sees elephant, what he thinks? Oh, elephant in the zoo, likely we want to entertain, we want to sit in the elephant like that. When somebody sees dog and play like that. But what does it mean here? A saintly person. What does a saintly person thinks about? What is the mindset of a saintly person? The mindset of the saintly person, he sees the spirit soul in each individual. He sees the spirit soul in the dog eaters, the elephant, the Brahmins, the cow. But we see them as the body. This is the body of a cow, this is the body of a dog, this is the body of an elephant, this is the body of a man, this is the body of that. So what is the mindset of this and all and that? So our mindset is bodily conscious, and the advanced sage's mindset is spiritual conscious. Or the person who sees, oh cow, I want to eat meat now. That is sinful activity. Or this elephant should belong to me. Or the Brahmin should come do some puja for me to get some money. So this is called sense enjoyment propensities mindset. Anything we see beautiful, we consider that belongs to me. Anything we see superior, I think I wanted to possess that. That the mind of a sense enjoyer or master, but everything belongs to Krishna, that mindset is the advanced Brahman. Now here understand why Krishna gave this example of this four creature. That's why it is called Bhagavad Gita discussion when it comes. When Krishna says Vidya Vinaya Sampane, why he talked about Brahmana, a Gavi, a Hastini? Why did not he say about Aswa? Isn't it? Why didn't talk about Aswa? Or why didn't talk about lion? Why talk about dog? What does it mean? What is there? What is Krishna's mindset? You can challenge Krishna. What is your mindset, Krishna? In 5th chapter, what is his psychology, Krishna's psychology? And why is bringing this particular in a battlefield? He sees in his own chariot, he sees horses. How many horses he has? 4. Why is he not talking horses there? He could have said, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Aswini. Why he says different things? But everything Krishna says has a meaning. It's logical. Because dog is considered to be the lowest among animals. And elephant is considered the highest amongst animals. And cow and Brahmins are Krishna's favorite. What is favorite? When you give an example, my friends, she's from Hawaii. Whenever she comes, anything she gives example. Oh, it was like in Hawaii. Oh, it was in Hawaii. Oh, it was in Hawaii. It's like, oh, no. Because in her mind, Hawaii is the best. If you love my friend, another one, he's from Janakpuri, Delhi. Oh yeah, it's in Janakpuri. It's in Delhi. It's in Delhi. It's in Delhi. Everything is in Delhi. And if you love Silicon Valley, you go anywhere. Oh yeah, it is in Silicon Valley. It is in Silicon Valley. It is in there. Because the mind is absorbed with those objects as your reference. Similarly, Krishna's mind is, we can check his mind. What is in his mind? Brahmana and Gavi. Brahman and cow is in his mind. Because he loves them. Isn't it not true? That is the point, concludes that Krishna's mind is always meditating when he gives example, Brahmanas and Gavi. He could have said Kshatriya, because Arjuna is in front of him. He could have said, instead of Brahmana, he could have Kshatriya, then you can say some other object of animal, and then he could have said Aswa. But the words that proves, the word you speak in psychology, we see someone, they say that you are an agitated person, you are a rebellious person, because the word, when the Boston bomb blast, who knows? Boston bomb blast, do you know, a couple of years ago? It happened. So after 1 week, one family, 2 floors they have. In the ground floor, the wife is searching in Google to buy a pressure cooker. And the man is searching to buy a backpack. They're searching. But they're doing their exploration and searching to buy something. After 10 minutes, the FBI came, knocked them down. Why? Everybody is just floating like flat with the guns and everything, and then what happens? Because they think you're buying pressure cooker and backpack. That's the time Boston happened with the backpack, right? The bombing. And then they think that they are planning to do bomb in their home. They're planning to make bomb in their homes. Why it is? Because the keywords, the search, don't think everything you do in your home, it is captured by someone else, by the government. So that proves. So what it means is they are capturing the words, and the words is a psychological thinking that gives us. That's why they go and search in Safeway that who is buying liquid chemicals for cleaning the toilets, so many things. If you're buying too much, it may be suspicious for some terrorism activities. You never know. So, but my point I wanted to say is that whatever there in the mind, it is a psychological behavior that the word you are uttering many times, if somebody, a psychiatrist can say you what kind of person you are. So similarly, we are not a greater psychiatrist to judge Krishna, but it proves that Krishna loves Brahmana and Gavi. So that's the one which says one picture in one sloka, you can analyze many things and understand deep about Krishna's personality, isn't it? So why Krishna loves this one? Now you can tell anyone, right? Why Krishna loves Brahman and cow? You can tell Salim to anyone? You can preach now that why Krishna loves. Tell 5:18. Krishna says, Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gabhihastini suni chaiva sapake cha pandita samadarshina. That's the one we have to understand. So the third sloka which I am picking, this is topic about mindset. So I am picking 5 sloka which Krishna talks about mindset. What is in his mind and how to judge, how to know what mindset we have and how to correct it. Sri Bhagavan Upacha Aksharam Brahmo Paramam Sabhavo Adhyatmam Uchyate Bhuto Bhavad Bhavo Karo Visarga Karma Samjitaha. So what it means is, so, and then the Supreme Personality Godhead said, the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities. So, what karma means? Many people say karma means doing computer, taking care of your children, working for a company. But what the definition of karma here says? What our mindset of a karma? Everybody has a mindset of a karma, right? Means mindset of definition of karma. So what means to me, some people say, they will give example of a good karma. Some people may example directly they give about what a bad karma means. So they are trying to criticize others. Means if you ask someone, if I ask 3 people here, give the definition of karma, he said, no, karma means not to eat meat, do this and that, but we didn't ask about that. We didn't ask about that, did we? We asked about just to give a plain definition of a karma. The activities we do in a day or wherever is, that is called karma. Isn't it? Now then the second things, maybe you define what a good karma and what a bad karma, but people start with the bad thing. Generally it is spotted out that many people complain if there is any deviation, but people do not appreciate if there is something satisfaction. It's okay. But if something to complain about, they talk to many people. So 9 out of 10 people talk about a complaints, 1 out of 10 people talk about a good thing. It's nature. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the human nature here. So that proves that we are in the material world. So, definition of a karma based on Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is, he's saying that the self-action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities. That's what we have two karma. One is called Naimittika Dharma, another is Sanatana Dharma. Naimittika Dharma is action pertaining to the body, and Sanatana means action pertaining to this advancement of the spirit soul. So, body means you have to take bath, you have to earn money, you have to give food to your body, you have to clean your eyes, you have to brush your teeth, you have to do these things. So, these are also karma, but when you get up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, brushing your teeth, taking bath and coming to Mangalarti, even though that brushing, that bathing is spiritual. Because there is an intention to come. Even though the person, Prabhupada says, a person who is decorating the temple, same flower, same things, he may go to Vaikuntha. A person who is decorating the prostitute's house or brothel house or liquor house or a bar, then he may go to hell. That's the difference. Same talent, same activities. But for whom? So the karma for body and karma for the soul is spiritual. Now go to the fourth one, which I chose is Ye tu dharmamritam idam yatholokam paryupasate sraddadhana mat parama bhaktasya attive me priyaha. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So what is our purport is? Who makes the goal? Everybody has a goal in the mind, isn't it? What is your goal, Abhijit? What's your goal? Use your microphone.
Yeah, it varies which aspect of life are we talking about. Like professionally, there is a different goal. Like maybe for physically, I might have a different set of goals.
Is it not on? Oh, it's on, okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
So you have a goal, primarily. You have a goal. So who has no goal? Do you have a goal? Yes, you have a goal? Yes. I am not asking to reveal your goal to me. I'm not going to do. But at least you have a goal. You have a goal, Rashmita? Yes. So we have to have a goal. How much efforts we do to achieve our goal? Little, more, then we get some results. So no matter whatever, here Krishna is talking about supreme goal. Supreme goal means supreme efforts has to be given. Supreme efforts doesn't mean that you really jump from mountain Himalayas to down and do like that. Means at least we try and break the knots in your heart that I am this body. Everything Krishna will take care. And then Hridaya Granthi, take this one and then come. So the perception remains that we do not consider this supreme goal. The perception for us is that we have a goal. And because, why? I am myself. I am the Lord. I have set the goal. That has to be done. That has to be executed. That has to be fulfilled. But Krishna also sets a goal for us. As I mentioned in my previous sloka, we do not want to execute the will of the God in our body and we wanted to check, that's what we suffer. As long as we cooperate with Krishna to execute the will of Himself upon us, we will be successful. We will achieve the goal. And what is the will? Just like a kid is blocking his parents not to accept the food, then his growth is checked. The same thing. So we have the last one. What is that one? 18.3 say, Tejyam dasavidha iti eke karma prahur manishina yagyadana tapa karma na tejyam iti chapare. So translation, some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up at faulty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity and penance should never be abandoned. So this is two different mindsets. One mindset is that the fruitive activities should be given up as faulty. Means whatever karma you are doing, you are going to school, you are going to college, you are a teacher, you are a professor, they consider everything is faulty. That is true. But others says that nowhere, at no point of time, a sacrifice, charity and penance should be abandoned. Why? That's what the two, Krishna is giving contradictory things. Why bring contradictory? Mind needs contradictory in order to make a conclusion. If you give, that's what we call always, did you make pros and cons? If you go to get a decision, if you just give positive, 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 then the board may ask you, what is the negative, negative, negative? Oh, there is none, mean there is a doubt, means something you are hiding, something is not known, something you did not analyze properly. So Bhagavad Gita is that. Krishna always gives this, then do this. This, then do this. So there are varieties of formulas, varieties of analytical approach, varieties of information, varieties of options, varieties of theories. Krishna brings Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Patanjali Yoga, many yogas. Then say this one is, 12th chapter we read, the Bhakti Yoga is the best. So here, two classes of people. What are those mindset of one class of people? That activities is fault. What are those mindsets of the other? The charity penance should not be abandoned at all time. Should we abandon it? Volunteering, we don't abandon. Charity, we give charity to the temple. Should it be abandoned? No way. Healthcare, social, community, teamwork should not be abandoned at any time. So what it says, no act of kindness, however small, is ever wasted. So your kindness in terms of saying good words to Krishna, your kindness saying good money towards Krishna, your kindness to be association with Krishna is never wasted. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So that's all from this talk today. We'll have these are the things which is coming. So we'll have now Aarti in 2 minutes. So before that we go, any questions or anyone has any final comments? I think you guys are well engaged. Any comments from anything? Any questions? Clarification? Nobody has anything further? Okay. That's good. So what you do is, you keep it as it is, because after that we'll have Damodara Astakam, or you can keep it on the side, the cushion, and we'll have a Gaur Aarti until 7:55, and after that we'll have a Damodara Astakam, 8 o'clock. So we'll offer the ghee lamp at 8 o'clock, not now. So please don't do, we wanted to wait. Yeah. So 8 o'clock we'll give you a tulsi sticks, ghee sticks for you, so that it is most auspicious, and Nitya-mukta Mataji would bring. Okay? Hare Krishna. Jai Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki. Gaur Premanande. So we would go for Artik now. Stand. Who wants to sing the Artik? Okay.